Productivity versus efficiency. Are they the same? Are they even worth measuring? We're going to go through what is productivity, what is efficiency, is it valuable in measuring against knowledge workers, and what kind of metrics can we look to in a business agility world? Let's do this. At a really high level, productivity is the output over time. Efficiency is the input versus the output. Together, they can come up with some really good metrics to see how well your business is doing. But productivity was originally created, or the word was used, shall I say, around farming. It was used to see what the yield was for each acre. It was to ensure that farmers were planting the right items at the right time and making sure that they didn't grow corn instead of potatoes, they didn't go too big, too small. It was the yield. Some of the problems that we have with this thought process today is, what if people don't want those apples, those pears, those potatoes, those mushrooms? Just because it's productive doesn't mean just because it's productive doesn't mean your customer is going to buy. At the same time, if we were to bring the input versus output, labor versus the product deliverables, the efficiency of the process, it doesn't help our knowledge workers become motivated around the end result. So we can measure these, but does it really matter? So let's go quickly into a more depth view of productivity. Productivity. Awesome. Productivity. How much are we yielding? How much are we getting out of this system, this end-to-end system? We don't automatically get our products purchased. We can't just put it to market and let everyone purchase it. There sometimes is a trading system where you may get milk prices, potato prices, supermarket prices. You may get them built in if you meet certain criteria. And this may work for you. But we started bringing in productivity into the office and saying that you need to be more productive. Most employees don't know what that even means. I would hazard the guess that most leaders don't know what that means. They just want more output. And they fix their time on the employees' wages. In reality, we don't actually need to think of it in terms of productivity. We need to talk in terms of value. So if we were to have a calculation for productivity, we could look at value created over time. That will give us a better metric of productivity. So let's have a look at it. If productivity was the value created over time, we would know that the customer is pulling and trading with us more value over the time it takes us to produce. But productivity, the same with farmers, is not a fixed constraint. You could have added more workers. You could have had more efficient machines. We'll get to efficiency in a minute. It doesn't mean your productivity has made you more money, has created more value, has solved climate change. All it's done is told you that it's increased. The same way a farmer can say one metric, I went from 500 tons of potatoes to 700 tons of potatoes, their productivity has increased 40%. This does not mean that you're more profitable, your financial performance has increased, or any valid metric. If we use productivity per FTE, we start to get a better picture. If productivity was the customer value divided by the time, and then divide that by the number of FTE, we'll start seeing a relative increase or decrease around full-time employees, FTE, hiring, and people leaving. And somewhere on that bell curve, there will be a higher productivity per person for your products. That's quite a good metric to look at. Remember, being busy does not equal productivity. Creating outputs does not increase customer value. Customer value, if you want to measure it, bring it back in to how much that person is actually producing towards that customer value. And then we have something that's worth measuring. So let's have a quick look at efficiency. Efficiency is really just input versus output. It's nothing complicated. And the metric by itself, it's okay. Inputs could be your labor inputs. It could be your inputs of products that you bring in to manufacture or disestablish. It could be the machines you use. And the output really is the thing that you're looking for. It could be lines of code. It could be energy. It could be profit. There's no reason why these things can't be used interchangeably. And you kind of create a percentage of the inputs versus the outputs. And that's efficiency in a nutshell. Efficiency is really good at looking at machines that don't change. It's why it's looked at from a Six Sigma point of view, the process. The process is really good to use an end-to-end process and how much are we putting in this process versus what are we getting out, and look at the efficiency of that. Again, it doesn't give you any information about how much customer value is being created, but it does let you know that you're having a less efficient process. It's really good for power plants, knowing your nuclear power station is at 37% efficiency. And it's really good at the return on your servers, things that are fixed. It's not really good for people. Not really good for customers either. When you look at people, their motivations are completely different. They're not a machine. They come in one day and they may be feeling meh. They come in the next day and they are feeling bright and beautiful and they love life. That's why leaders are so important. Your focus is on getting their motivation high, and that will naturally help with your efficient and productivity measures. But you can't use efficiency for a single individual, and you shouldn't use them even for a business unit. I don't even think you should be using them for processes nowadays, since they should be quite flexible with customer value, but it is a way of measuring it. So to recap, productivity, really good for people if you focus on customer value. Efficiency, really good for machines if you're focusing on a fixed system. So what kind of metrics can we actually look at now? What metrics even make sense? I've come to the conclusion that time is not a great measure. Cost is. At the end of the day, you want your financial performance to increase. Or if you're a CSR, you want your corporate social responsibility to increase. If your focus is on in government, you want your stakeholders' happiness to increase and for them to have what they need. So I propose we look at customer value divided by cost. How much customer value are we producing for the amount of money it costs us to run it? Right? Then I propose we look at an efficiency ratio of customer value to financial performance. So you may have 6-7 key performance indicators that tell you your customer value is increasing. You can then divide that by your product streams to look at how much per person are we aiming towards these key metrics, which gives us customer value. And then look at the efficiency of customer value to financial performance. That way, from a motivational standpoint, your employees can focus on customer happiness, on satisfaction, on brand loyalty. They can focus on getting the right prices, the customer journey, the good stuff that Karl Marx himself told us in The Alienation of Product and Customer that these are the things that will motivate employees. And it does. We found from 120 years of behavioral science that these is really what they care about. They don't care about money. Even in my own research, I found that money was the lowest, I think it was a 12%, 15% correlation with employee engagement versus customer satisfaction was at 65.65, shall I say. So a real high moderate correlation. If employees are motivated around customer value, create the right metrics to show them how they are impacting that customer value. Then, as leaders, look at your efficiency between customer value and financial performance. Awesome. I'm Mike from Surge Management. We partner with leaders to maximize their potential. We focus on people-centric cultures and transforming our way there. I hope this really helped you understand the right metrics and how you can motivate your employees to deliver more value and get more rewards. I'll see you guys next time.